Richard Haas, president of the Council of Foreign Relations. Richard, good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
Describe Yemen to me. Is it as bad as Somalia? Is it a totally failed state?
It's not totally failed, but it's quasi-failed. It's failing. It's a country of nearly 25 million people. You've got several insurrections going on. The government's not in control of large parts of the territory. We think of sovereignty. Well, this is not really a sovereign place. You've got tribes, you've got separatist groups, you've got terrorist organizations. Essentially, it's slightly out of control. Think of it as the Wild West.
Like the Wild West. Is that why it has been such a rich and fertile ground for al-Qaeda to find refuge there?
Exactly right. Al-Qaeda fills vacuums. It's no coincidence that al-Qaeda is active in places like Yemen, like Somalia, like Pakistan. In the old days in Afghanistan, there's spaces. They fill the spaces where the sovereign government is unable or unwilling to exercise authority.
And especially in the case of Afghanistan, where we are pouring more and more troops, al-Qaeda just trips over into the no man's land between Pakistan and Afghanistan, and especially into a place like Yemen. Do you foresee, for instance, somehow in the future, the United States forces chasing al-Qaeda into a place like Yemen?
Possibly with small numbers of U.S. troops, the Special Forces team using drones. But the real policy is to partner with the local government. To put it bluntly, Harry, we can't occupy the world. We can't occupy Afghanistan. We're not allowed in serious ways into Pakistan. We can't then go into Yemen and Somalia and everywhere else. Instead, we've got to try to build up the capacities of these governments. But that's a long and difficult and, in the end, incomplete effort.
And Elizabeth Palmer just said we're going to double our money, put double down in Yemen. If there really isn't much of a government there, how wise is an investment like that?
Well, it's a wise investment, but we shouldn't expect complete success. So we'll build up some capacities. We'll have to do some more things ourselves. But think of this as like fighting disease. Yes, yeah, you every once in a while you make some progress, but you never eliminate the virus. We're not going to eliminate Yemen as a place where the virus of terrorism exercises itself.
Let's talk then about so there's Yemen, there's Somalia. Will we anticipate a time when you can't literally eliminate the disease altogether?
That's the time we're in. This is now part of the furniture. This is part of the architecture of our lives. Terrorism is probably here to stay, at least for a generation, probably beyond that. We go after it when we can. We protect ourselves as best we can. We get better at recovering, at making ourselves more resilient. But terrorism is something we have to fight, but also live with. And we also have to prepare ourselves for those awful days like 9/11, when the terrorists will succeed. They will have good days, we will have bad days, like we saw in Afghanistan the other day when they wiped out an important part of our CIA team. There will be bad days for us. This is a struggle, and struggles continue. They tend not to end.
As Tom Kaine may have suggested, this alleged terrorist on Christmas Day may have been, in its own way, a blessing in disguise to remind everyone that this is something that's always with us.
Governor was right, you're right, but it's depressing that we need to be reminded. One of the lessons of 9/11 was we need to integrate the information. We've clearly failed to do that. I hope we don't need another reminder.
Richard Haas, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much.